Get in, nerds. We are playing Burden of Command. We are out here to rescue one of the Tuskegee Airmen who has fallen here, crash landed here, after driving off some German aircraft. So, we are going to do our level best to cover the approaches with smoke so that we can get these fellas out of here. Let me see if I can. They do have the ability to move, which is interesting. Lives 1. All right, so that's this squad cannot take even one casualty. But this is the squad. This is the airman that we're trying to search for. Um, let's see how far he can get safely on his own. Not far. Oh, and this ground is very muddy. Um, so obviously, moving under fire is going to be difficult. The ideal way would be for him to get on this road and get going. Now, this spot is visible from where? From here, from this MG nest. So I got to smoke up these hexes. If it moves along the road, I've got to block line of sight to these hexes here. This MG nest, so I need to go in here. And what about here? Just these ones. Okay. But this one's got a lot of vulnerabilities. Because there's all of these hexes have coverage. What about here? And here is also a risky location. Now I only need to get one squad adjacent to this squad. So if I can get one of Lieutenant Rao's squads to here, potentially to here, it's going to be risky, but I could potentially make it happen. Oh, wait. Hold on. It says move a squad here to free the... Hold on. Okay. I thought I could move this squad away. Because the question I need to figure out is, do I need to cover the approaches here? Or do I just need to get this squad out of the situation? Because if I can get them out of the situation, then that's an even better solution. But in any case, I think for me from here, my best plan is to throw down some artillery. Throw down some smoke. I haven't been using smoke as much as I should have been, and I'm not in the right location to do that. Let me quickly see where I can... Visibility from here is pretty good, because this is the area I need to smoke up. So if I move Captain Murphy here, that should be good to go. But I could potentially get spotted by any units in these trenches if I move here. Cover's pretty good, but if they've got an MG posted up, I could be toast. So I think it's going to be better to creep. Once again, let me just take a look at visibility down here. Visibility down here from this spot's nil. Nil here, and nil here. Alright, so if I'm gonna move up the road here, then these spots don't need to be... I don't necessarily need to protect from movement over there. But there's sort of a question of coverage. I could cover from... Yeah, I could cover from this house. I want to put a unit in this house. Just as soon as I possibly can. But obviously I want to throw that smoke first. Cover's better from here. But visibility is not... Well, visibility is pretty okay. Again, it's these spots that I'm curious about. But I think if I put a wall of smoke right across here, that should be fine. So can I do that from here? I certainly can. Can I do that from here? I mostly can. The real question is, yes, I should be able to cover that from there. So, I can get, yeah, like a wall of smoke across here, and that should be fine. So, we'll go ahead. I'm still going to creep Captain Murphy. I don't think it's reasonable to, which means I'm only going to be able to drop 4 smoke hootie waddies this turn, but I think it's worth it in order to not get spotted. So we'll start with that. Uh-oh. Exhorts. Don't like that. Don't you be exhorting out here. I don't have that much smoke to throw. So let's get started. Where do I want... I think I want across here. Yeah, because that's going to block LOS for this MG. It's not going to block it here, though. I'm going to need to suppress them with my own MG. I'm hoping I can make that happen. We will see if I can make that work. But if I can wall off this area, that should give this squad enough time to move out. I don't want to make the same mistake I made last time and just kind of putting the okay, got. I think I may have glitched the visibility mode here. Hey, there we go. Got it. I got it. So, oh, never mind. All right. Well, that. No, this is supposed to be here. This is supposed to be here. I haven't glitched anything. It's fine. All right. So let's get this support in here. First, I'm going to use my mortar smoke because that's probably going to have shorter range, as it were. Huh. Didn't quite get that smoke where I wanted to get it. All right. That's okay. Only a chance. Okay. Let's throw that here. Failed to respond. Low net morale. Oh, that's not great. Okay. Can Stern call in any of this? No, only the captain. Okay, so we'll throw that here. Arrives next turn. Okay, not what I wanted to hear. We'll throw more smoke here. And that arrives next turn. So the only thing I'm blocking is this. Is this here, which means the threat from this MG remains. These hexes, they need to be there. But this hex has got a clear shot from there. Again, it's only going to matter if this is an MG, but obviously here, couple of spots that they could throw smoke in. So I don't think I can start moving this squad this turn. So what do I want to do first? I think that's going to be obvious. Let's throw some suppression on this enemy heavy machine gun. Now they're going to... The question is, do I move Stern there? Because I don't want to put myself... I would love to be able to bolster them, to be able to hit them just a little bit harder. If I do that, I'm not going to be able to then order this MG to fire, though. Because I've already used all of Captain Murphy's giblets. And I know the enemy's got an MG waiting way back here. The other question is whether or not he's going to have the movement. Let's start with that. Let's start with whether or not he's going to have the movement. I'm going to put him here. No. All right. So it's academic this turn. So let's take these shots. All right. They did successfully return fire. They took some suppression, but so did I. My chances are not as good to go at them again, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Who are these bazookas under? Okay, these bazookas are under Thompson. Well, this bazooka's under Thompson. The other bazooka has got to be under Rao. Okay, not ideal. Not a great way to start. I'm going to at least get Lieutenant Stern closer. He can't bolster... He can only bolster himself. That's a real shame. So, if I shoot again, I'm really risking it. Because my chances are only about 2/3 of winning the initiative. But I'm going to give it a shot. Oh, no. Net suppression expected 0. Yeah, because my morale's too low. All right. So, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to leave Stern here so that he can do something with them next turn. And then we'll see what the enemy does.
Nicht verteilen! Es ist ein Backofen hier!
Okay, so the next question is, who's the squad under? The squad is under Lieutenant Rao. Do I start moving them this turn? They're in view of this MG if they go here. If they're here, they're not in view of anywhere. If they're here, they're only in view of this spot. So unless the enemy's got an MG there, which would be pretty dumb. I've got visibility to there from all over my line. Then from this spot, there's visibility to here. So they can only get to here, reasonably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, they would need 2 turns to move an MG there and take the shot. But they could also have units here and here. Okay, so I can't get there just yet. So I'm going to have to wait until next turn to move them, unless I move them only to here. Which I am extremely tempted to do. From here, they are visible to this spot and to over here, so they're quite vulnerable in the position they're in. This means committing Lieutenant Rao right now, but I think it's the right call. Your men pull the downed pilot out of the twisted ruins of his plane. He scrambles with them to cover. They don't have time to carry him, time to get him out of here. Move the pilot eastward to the area behind your trenches. Oh, interesting. So, I think maybe he wasn't supposed to be active for me to move yet. But regardless, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Who's got visibility to me over here? Is it this MG? Yeah, this MG's covering this whole area. That said, their morale's pretty low. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get where I want to get without too many issues. I'm going to start, I think, by moving in pretty solid cover. I'm going to hope the enemy wastes their shots while I'm in cover and getting Lieutenant Rao into things. Okay, they failed. They spent one. No, they spent both. Nice. All right, that is wonderful. So I think my next target is here. Move the pilot eastward to the area behind your trenches. Risky business moving in the open. But let's do it. Alright, very good. That is wonderful. This squad, again, risky business moving in the open. Coordinated attack. Nice. They got themselves a little bit of morale back. This squad here. Do I keep? No, I don't. I can't risk them having an MG here. Although if they had an MG here, would they be shooting already? They They certainly would be. It would be reasonable for them to. Taking advantage of the fact that this MG has already fired. Gosh, this is such a... They would definitely have shot at me with these units if they had a unit here. But what if they had a unit here? If it was an MG, it would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They don't have the range to shoot at me here if they're not an MG. So, the temptation is extremely high. God, I wish I had any kind of cover over here. But I don't. It simply is what it is. The state of affairs is the state of affairs. It's a shame that movement here is really, really bad. I could bolster this squad to get them just a little bit further. I don't want to leave Lieutenant Rao out in the open by himself. Although he would be in cover if I moved to one of these spots. This is pour it on. If I... Oop, that's not what I want. If I bolster this squad... If I bolster this squad, I can't move them. Because he hasn't activated them yet. So that's not a question. I gotta stop making that mistake. This squad still has... this is agony. I'm gonna move Lieutenant Rao's other squad. I'm just gonna get them there. So, we'll take you here. To here. And then to here. Alright, at this point I'm feeling a solid amount of confidence that the enemy is not able to shoot at me. That they don't have anyone here. They don't have anyone here with an MG or anything with range. They don't have anyone here with an MG or anything with range. So, oh, please don't be a mistake. Okay. Alright. Now, the question is, do I move this squad a little bit forward? I think the answer to that is actually no. I wait for this turn. So that's Lieutenant Rao.
Das ist kein Austria.
Uh-oh.
Don't let up. Suppressing fire.
Yeah! Suck it.
Nicht anhalten.
Alright, they're going here.
Jerry's.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Excellent. Oh boy, I'm glad I moved this squad. Because these guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would have been potentially, not through this hill, but they would have been in range. And that would have been just a hairball if that had happened. Alright. Now it's time to get Lieutenant Dearborn's squads moving. I'm going to get this squad into this house. Alright, so this will give us coverage of the approaches over here to see whatever we need to be able to see. I'm going to move this squad. Before I do that, let me just check because I know this squad keeps taking suppression from an MG that's like back here somewhere. But I don't remember exactly where because it was like a week ago now. So I'm taking a risk if I move. Well, hold on. There's a better way to do this. It wasn't in either of these spots, because if it was, then they would have shot me from here. So, it's got to be in this spot. So which spots does this squad have coverage? All right. It does have coverage of this whole area. The MG that's over here. Unless it's here, and it's spent already, but I don't think that would be the case. But regardless, I can go this way and be okay. So, we'll grab this squad. Unless I'm very firmly mistaken. Which I have been in the past.
Tell my wife I love her.
Don't do this to me, man! You're just going forward a little bit. Beautiful. And now we'll move Dearborn. I can't move this squad to Dearborn, but I can move Dearborn to this squad, and then I can rally them.
Gentlemen, let us complete our victory.
Okay, things are going well so far. I've got good cover on the north here, but there are Germans moving over here. I don't think I necessarily need to be being real careful over here. So, because I don't, well, maybe moving these guys out to give better shooting coverage over here would be useful, but I'm pretty spare on good cover. Where are you going? Oh, gosh darn it.
Das ist ein Heimatschuss.
Gosh darn it, they're suppressing my MGs. That's not good. I need to be on that and deal with that pretty soon. So that was from here. All right. So that maybe I'll throw some mortar rounds there or something. In any case, the question I need to ask myself right now is, does Thompson and his squads move forward a little bit to improve our coverage here at a risk of moving out of the excellent cover that we've got built up? How does this change our... Okay, so we got visibility here. If I get to here, similar. Similar cover, similar visibility. If I go all the way to here, though, that's worse cover. But I'm not necessarily looking to take any risks here. Still, I think moving one squad forward to here so that I can shoot at this area is the right call. So what we'll do is we'll move this squad up.
Come on.
Okay, they are spotted. We'll move them to here. And this will get them coverage of this whole area. And then this squad I'm going to put up here. And we'll add Lieutenant Thompson to them so that they can rally next turn. And that... Do I want to move this squad forward just a little bit? What's my visibility look like from here? Yeah, this MG is going to cover this whole area, so I don't necessarily have infinite ability to maneuver over here right now. So maybe the answer is I actually get this squad forward, because this squad can only cover this approach here. If he's here, he can cover a lot. If he's here, it's only a little better. But from here, the cover is worse. So I think I'm just going to put him here. And that's it. Alright, stressful turn. Turns left 7.
Keep their heads down.
Okay. Oh. It's a bunch of smoke. Okay, so one of my smoke missions came in, one of them didn't. Okay, no, they both came in. Alright, so this spot is covered now. So, get to the safety of the trenches. Alright, so. Still can't get more than 1 hex per move. but I can keep them moving. So how do I want to do this? I think the answer is I throw in more smoke. That's the first thing. This spot I need to get covered, and there's visibility from here. So that means I think I need to use my mortar for smoking, or I move stern up, I bolster this MG, and I shoot them again. And I think that's what the right answer is here. Do I creep him? I don't think so. I don't think I need to, because I don't think they can fire. Bolster.
Brace those MGs!
Sit down. They've become undaunted. Cripes. Stern's got one more action. So I could pound them with mortar fire if I wanted to. I could also hit them with mortar fire, which would be really useful. How much more artillery have I got? I do have one. I do have one batch of artillery, but they're not going to fire till next turn. So I need to be, or till the between turns. It's difficult because I've only used offshore artillery, off-map artillery once before, and it didn't come through. It just sort of didn't fire, and then I lost the tank that had access to it. So I'm a little weak on what exactly that means. If we shoot here again, no, chances are terrible. So, but I could shoot one of these squads. And the temptation is rock solid, actually. Net suppression only 1, though. Because my morale itself is kind of low.
Shift fire!
Temptation is super duper high, though. Could bolster them again. I think I'm going to bolster them again. Still only 1. Let's still shoot, though. Might have been a mistake to spend all my machine gun shots in the north here, but I still think it was the right call. So, with Captain Murphy, how do I want to do this? What's my vital objective? I've done some suppression to this unit, but they're not fully out of the action yet. These squads should still only have the ability to move 1 or 2 hexes each go. So where do I want the smoke? Blocking up this would be really useful. Blocking up this squad's visibility to here, because if they can get to here, they'll have... Oh, they won't have coverage of this area. They need to be able to get to here, and I don't think they can. If they get to here, though, they could. And that's a real potential problem. I've already used stern, which means ideally I could suppress them right now. That would be the best. Again, I can only get him to here, and I suspect that these spots are empty because they would have shot at my units last turn if they weren't. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got to get this enemy squad pinned down as soon as I can. What about you? If you have... Okay, no ability to shoot from there. At least not to the spots that I'm interested in. So yeah, I think my strategy depends on me pinning this unit down. So that's what I need to do with my mortars. Alright, they're undaunted. That's not ideal. And then I throw a smoke mission. Again, I think the answer is maybe like here. Because this machine gun covering this road is the real threat. And maybe it's like here is the answer. Because again, there were quite a few shots that came down and put smoke in various locations over here. So maybe the answer is I put my smoke like here. Because that's basically directly between where I need my where the enemy wants to shoot at me. Oh, but he can't see that. That's awkward. So I need to move Captain Murphy to here. Let's creep him. Why'd you lose a bunch of morale, Captain? Alright. Smoke. Here. Spotting underway. Unit arrives next turn. Alright, beautiful. So now I'm going to take command of this squad with Captain Murphy. And let me do my final double check to make sure that they're currently free to move. Looks like they are. Again, this is a tough spot, but an MG would have shot, if there was an MG here, they would have shot here. If there was an MG here, they would have shot here last turn. So I think I'm going to be good to go. And again, what's vital to me is just to get out of the range of these enemy units as they advance, and to go first and to get out of their range, just so that I make sure that I'm staying out of their ability to shoot at me. Now, that is going to be the end of Stern's turn. I've used most of my captain's actions. So let's see what the enemy's doing. Alright, there was a rally there. I need to be conscientious about that. And that's all the enemy did. Would it be absolutely buck wild to send a unit across here to try to get some visibility to these trenches and maybe take out this MG? That might be a good insurance policy. Thompson needs to rally this squad. I would love to get this MG rallied. If I move Lieutenant Dearborn... The thing is, he's in a spot that I know is covered by the enemy, because I'm pretty sure they've got an MG over here. But I could creep them. I could move them here to where they can't necessarily be seen. That's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to move Dearborn to here. And if he's still not seen there, I'm going to creep him forward. Is that the right call? No. I need to creep now. This might be a giant mistake. But we'll find out. It's not. Or not yet, at least. Oh. Okay. I think I got spotted there. I don't know I got spotted, but I think I did. This is still a really good spot for this squad to be in. I'm going to move this squad forward to this cover here. Let me just take a quick look at visibility. So I got full visibility here. This squad and this squad each have visibility to these areas. If I step here, this squad will be able to shoot at anyone that shows up here or here. So that's actually a good place for them to be. Can they safely cross this hex without getting seen or shot at? I think the answer is yes. Plus side, cynical, I know, but this will give me a visibility if they've maneuvered an MG into one of those hexes. So we'll head in. Beautiful. Alright, and what this means is that if any of these German squads come up over here, this squad will be able to spot them and shoot at them. Now, for this other squad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, getting into these holes would provide me a lot of coverage here behind this squad to make sure that they're okay. But the question is, do I risk going across this open terrain? No, because I think the enemy's got an MG in this area. But does that MG have the ability to shoot at these spots? The answer is no. So if I creep them here and then run them the rest of the way, I might be able to make it happen. That'll use the last of Captain Murphy's orders.
Get the BAR up here.
On the other hand, if they go this way, nah, it's all equally covered. Command fear here. All right. Might be a giant mistake. We're good. We're near to where we want to be. All right, that's beautiful. That's perfect. So that gives us coverage over here. That's going to be all of Dearborn's actions. Okay.
Rosenfeld, kaputt!
They're still shooting at my MG over here, which I don't love but can't do anything about. Now the question is, do I... And this squad is out of shots right now. So the question is, do I go crazy? I think with Rao, I might just be able to get up into this action here so that I can cover this squad's retreat against any infantry that are trying to get over. So that's one option. Another option is I can send one of Thompson's squads up over to here just to get into the enemy backfield and see if I can put a little bit more hurt on this MG. And I think the answer is that. So, it would have been smart of me if I were planning to do this, do it earlier, but that's okay. This squad is a little bit short, is short in order, so the first thing I'm going to do is rally them.
Gotta get back in there.
This squad,
Hit the dirt.
let's get them going forward. I don't think anyone over here has visibility to me, so I'm going to risk going forward just a bit. Probably should have shot over here, but that's okay. That's all I'm going to do with Thompson. And then the question with Rao is, do I go forward? Because this unit's going to be able to shoot at this MG next turn. And that would allow me to really do some damage here. Oh, risks, and risks. If I could put 2 squads, I would feel more confident. If I go here, though, I'm risking. I know they've got an MG over here somewhere, but none of these spots can cover this approach. So if I try to move this squad to here, what am I risking? Risking shots from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Risking units here. This squad does not have visibility to any of these spots. Do I have any visibility to here? I've got it from these squads. But that's not a confirmation. Oh, also, I don't want to run into my own artillery. That'll be safer next turn. So I think that's all for Thompson to do right now.
Auf geht's, Frontsoldaten!
Okay, alright, they're coming up. They are coming up. So the question I need to ask myself is,
Hit him hard!
I would put myself in the open if I move forward and shot. But I would also get to shoot an enemy that can't shoot back, which would be very good. They're also not in very good cover. but I would be leaving them in an exposed position.
Watch your fire.
Tell my wife I love her.
Putting some suppression on the enemy is going to slow them down, though, and I think that might actually be worth it.
Medic!
This is a big risk, friends. Again, let's check the coverage from these woods. No visibility there. But obviously this gun's got visibility. I should hopefully have smoke over here, but we'll see. I'm trying it. Wow.
Fire.
They shouldn't be able to shoot back, though. Because they've already shot.
Hit him hard.
Ah, they won initiative. Cripes. Alright, that was... So did I take suppression? Okay, I took suppression. Okay, so you can still shoot back if you've been suppressed. Okay, so this was a mistake. But I learned something. I learned you can shoot back when you've been suppressed, which I should have already known at this point in the campaign, but I didn't, because I'm an inebriated feline. Alright. Do I want to do anything else with rouse squads? I don't think so, because I want to be able to get this squad back into cover as soon as I can. So that's going to be all I'm going to do right now. Do I do the same thing with... Do I repeat the mistakes of last turn with Lieutenant Thompson? I don't think so. Alright, so they're moving up to support here. But that's all. Alright. That's a turn. We'll see what the enemy does.
Pin him down. Hit him hard.
Alright. We got our smoke.
Go, go.
Beautiful. A nice clean wall of smoke over here. So, what ability is this? They still have the ability to shoot. Gosh darn it.
Move.
Damn, not what I was hoping for. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Stern once again. We're going to rally this MG,
We've still got a chance.
and then we're going to press them.
Keep moving. We gotta keep hitting them.
And then finally... Now this would be very good. This would be a good shot. But I gotta suppress this MG. Why is my projected suppression dealt so low? It's because of the smoke. Well, hopefully they won't be able to do much damage to me through all that smoke as well. Maybe I could risk it. Maybe their ability to... On the other hand, putting suppression on this unit would be super duper useful.
Watch your fire. Keep moving.
Nah, I gotta keep going after this MG. This MG is the clincher here. Nice! Alright, I won the initiative. I kept them from suppressing me. That's good. Now, what can I do with Captain Murphy? Beautiful. I got them down to cowering. So that's perfect. So, now the question is the MG that's over here covering this entry point? And the answer is no. Except for that spot. But I don't think they're there. So... if I take command of this unit, I could potentially, of the pilot, I could potentially have them where I need to have them next turn. To the safety of the trenches. 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. I'm in the best possible position to move them. The only one covering these spots is this MG. Because I don't think the enemy's got another MG over here. If I throw some mortar fire over here, some regular mortar fire, Alright, I only have my own mortar at this point. So I need to be careful about how I use it. But I think suppressing these units is the right call. Specifically this squad.
Don't give them an inch.
Yeah. Undaunted. Gosh darn it. I want them to be daunted. I actually know what undaunted means. I don't know if it means 0 suppression or not. So now the question is,
Don't give them an inch. Keep it
if I risk running Captain Murphy out to press this unit to get them into one of these covered positions. But I don't think so, because I think I need them going this way, because I need to make sure that they're not getting shot at by the MG that's over here. And that means I can't put them over here. Well, this spot's not covered. And again, I don't think the enemy's moved their MG.
Don't give them an inch.
If they've moved that MG to here, that's a giant problem. If they're here, they're in view of this MG. But again, there's a lot of smoke in the way. And this MG is cowering.
Don't give
So I think actually the answer is I move them through here to where Lieutenant Rao is. And I think actually... I hate to take direct command of Lieutenant Rao's units in this way, but I think I've got to, because this is a covered spot. And plus, you're going to hate this, but I think using some live bait is appropriate here.
With me.
They still shot! Wow! Huh.
Keep your heads down.
Okay, but they're out of shots now. So that means no more reaction fire. Come on, pilot, you can make it. Oh. Oh, man.
Take cover.
Oh, the pain. Is this the burden of command? I think this is the burden of command. Why does it hurt? All right. So, we've got our squad moved to the greatest extent they can be.
Hit the dirt.
And I think I can get them where they need to go next turn. Again, my goal is to get them to the safety of the trenches. I've done pretty well so far,
Take cover.
but I've got 2 squads exposed here, and the enemy gets a vote. So let's see what they spend their turn doing.
On your left. On your left. Achtung, jetzt kommt's
All right,
dicker.
yep, that's not a shocker.
Hand drauf. Stay
Huh.
down.
Good.
Stiefel an.
You're an infantry unit. You're not supposed to be able to shoot twice. But we're extremely undaunted. Feeling pretty good about that. That unit rallied. All right. Okay. All right. So I think we're going to start with
Keep moving.
Lieutenant Rao next.
On your right. On your right.
Actually. Expecting to deal a lot of suppression to this MG this turn. And I think I could take them out of action completely if I take this shot. Not out of action, out of action. The chances of that are very low, and I've had extraordinary luck doing that.
Move. Watch your flank.
But I'm going to do it. Hey, you. Nice. Dealt a bunch of suppression to them. That's good. Yeah, why don't you shoot him again? Beautiful. All right, this is gonna end up being a long episode, but that's okay. So Lieutenant Rao. Oh no, I just activated Lieutenant Thompson like a fool. That's okay. I'm not going to do anything else with Lieutenant Thompson. We're going to pass it to Lieutenant Rao next, and we'll see what the enemy does. Alright, they are moving this unit up.
Can't see them.
Dang it! Okay, so my unit here tried to reaction fire and couldn't. Because the visibility wasn't good enough in the smoke. They're in the smoke. Unfortunately, they're using my smoke. That's my smoke. Stop it. Alright, so next we're going to activate Lieutenant Rao. We're going to move this squad up here. And we're going to move this squad here. Yeah, we're going to move them here.
On your left.
And that's it, because I can't move this squad anywhere.
Stay on line.
Lieutenant Rao himself, I'm going to put here. Because I want him to be able to rally this squad next turn if he needs to. I'm going to take control of this bazooka. And they can't creep. No creeping if you're a bazooka. That's alright. So, we'll move them here. Just keep them pointed this way. Alright. I think that's maybe all I want to do. I'm going to move Captain Murphy to the south. I think so that I can step up and rally this. Do I have any more support I can bring in? No. It's just my own mortars over here. I think I'll keep Captain Murphy where he is. I don't think I necessarily need to get this MG unsuppressed. At least not urgently. Not enough to expose my captain to MG fire from over here. Alright, the enemy did stuff this turn. I'm just going to move Dearborn's squad to here to get them in cover. And that is all I'm going to do for the rest of the turn. Unless the enemy starts getting up to some nonsense. Nothing going on up here, nothing going on down here. Alright. 5 turns left.
Let's go!
But I think this is the turn. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm sorry, lads. Because this squad is under Lieutenant Rao, the pilot. So I'm once again going to use this squad as live bait. Extremely rude and incredibly rude. Next, I can, if I go there and rally them, no, I can't rally them and bolster them at once. So here's what we're going to do.
Keep your heads down.
We're going to move this squad here. They didn't go. Come on, do it again. Fly, you fools! Okay, alright. This might be a giant mistake. But I think I can do it. This is a huge risk I'm taking right now. They didn't go! Oh my gosh.
Ship fire.
Oh, this is a disaster. Come on. You can get there. You're within spitting distance. If they go down instead, what are the chances they get shot at from an MG over here? None. Alright. Beautiful. Alright. Oh no! They're out of juice! No, that's not what I needed. They were supposed to have 2 juice. Oh, this is a disaster. I'm going to expose my captain. I got to get them clear this turn. Oh, I hope this isn't a mistake.
Take cover.
You can do it. You can do it.
Move up. Stay down.
Yes!
Jerry ain't gonna shoot himself.
All right. So that should be the mission. Let's put some freaking mortars. Shoot at them, please. Yeah, I think it's going to be them. Alright, so the smoke over here is now clear, which is interesting. The last time I got the chemical warfare units, those units didn't run out of smoke. All right.
Keep firing.
Nice. Got him. Oh, and that means I can actually shoot these units with this MG, which is pretty cool. At least these ones. Yeah, let's do it. Stay down.
Get the BAR up here.
Might have been a mistake, but that's okay.
Move up.
Hey, nice. I suppressed their leader. Lieutenant. Alright.
Firing.
Anyway, I'm still in the positions I want to be in. So I'm gonna... Now they've got to come to me if they want to do any damage. They're still trying.
Schnell!
They won the initiative on me, but I got to shoot back. Hey, I dealt a casualty. Nice. I got them fully suppressed. Wonderful. All right. So next, again, I don't feel a strong need to do anything else. I've got to get the pilot back here, but that's all I've got to accomplish. So I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold position. I got my units in good positions. Okay, 4 turns left. Pilots to the safety of the trenches. All right, so let's take them through back here. You watch as the pilot scrambles to safety. His rescuers are right behind him. Beautiful. The men, major victory. The mission, major victory. 9 loyalty earned, 22 prestige. We're back in. We're back. The Gen Cat is back. All right. So that is we're way over time this time. But we rescued one of the Tuskegee Airmen, so that's good. I'm very pleased. We're way over time, so I'm gonna put a pin in it now and exit before the story continues. I think usually no. I need to wait until I get to the Age Your Men screen. So we'll continue with the story for now, and then we'll stop it. So Elmer Jones.
Charlie was one of the first pilots that went over. You know, he went over the 99th. He shot down the first enemy airplane. That was one of the most exciting things for me, and I was there taking pictures. We gave him a Coke for a present. We win the game from then on.
Another day ends. Another night begins. The mission, major victory. Pilot escapes capture. The men, major victory. Casualties less than 10%. The rescue party scrambles back toward your positions as a lone German machine gun undertakes a little grazing fire. Your men reply in kind, and that lets the patrol and pilot vault over the parapet to the safety of your trenches. By the time you're over, the pilot has already composed himself. He staggers over to meet you. On closer inspection, you can see that he's wearing the same captain's bars as you do. Captain, that was an excellent crash. Salute. Not gonna salute. We're out in the war zone here. I remember the words of my field umpire. Saluting is not for the front lines. That was an excellent crash. Runs in the family. Before I forget, thank you. You and your men both, he says, as he extends his hand for a heartfelt handshake. I'll make sure the rest of my squadron hears about this. Expect praise and plenty of it. Was our duty to help? Sarcasm -1. A fellow American in need? How could I refuse? Actually, we were thinking of leaving you to the crowds. I'm not going to say this. A fellow American in need? How could I refuse? Well, speaking for myself, I'm sure glad you didn't, the pilot replies with a grin. Grant rustles up an escort detail to guide the pilot through the trenches to the beach. That should be easier now that the Germans appear to have quieted down. With a final parting, you send the flyer and his guides back to the rear. He's safe until he flies again. Good thing there isn't a bar nearby. Maybe I should have been a pilot. He's safe until he flies again. There isn't much danger to a man on the ground. It's when they're up in the sky that there isn't any good cover. Well, Grant remarks as he watches the pilot leave. He seems real chipper, especially for someone who just got his plane shot out from under him. If I were him, I'd be happy too. Maybe he's just happy to be alive. Of course he is. He gets to leave this shithole. You know, you might have a point. If you're still alive, you can still hope. Grant says, and then lets out a long sigh. God, I wish the brass would just get it over with before the Krauts trap us in here forever. Just order the damn breakout. I can only hope they do. And that is all for today. Thank you so much. I had a blast with that mission. That one was a real nail biter, real brutal, but fair. I think that one was fair. I knew what I had to do. You get suppression if you run into the trenches beforehand, which makes sense because you're not supposed to be setting up for this mission. That's not the way the game's supposed to go. And I feel like this one was straight down the middle. It was nail biting. You know, because when you got a unit that's got strength 1, it's only one casualty and it's all over, right? Someone MGs that. If one of those MG-42s has gotten a chance to take a burst at my airmen, that would have been it. So you know. So you have to be super duper cautious, and you have to be very careful to cover the retreat. And you can't just faff about and hope it'll get sorted. But still, there was plenty of ability, plenty of like okay cover to run into to keep the positions covered. So yeah, so that one was a blast. I'm still having a great time with this game. And we'll come back next time. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.